Ultimate Collective fans, what's going on? Hey guys, what's good? Today we got another battle report for you of Age of Sigmar variety. Going back to the fantasy realm. Going back to the old fantasy realm. Well, not the old one, the new one. The new old fantasy realm. The new old fantasy. Alright. Anyways, 2,000 points. 2,000 points. Match play, Age of Sigmar. I am bringing out the Demons of Nergal from the Maggotkin Codex. And I have the tree people, the Sylvaneth. The Sylvaneth. Let's take a look at the game and the armies. Stay tuned. Now let's check out this awesome table. This is by far one of our most favorite sets of terrain we currently own. We want to give a big shout out. I'm gonna mispronounce his name, but
we'll just call him Cam.
Cam. He is on Dakadaka, is his main source of posting stuff. But his terrain is some of the best we've ever seen, and this dude hooked us up with an amazing set. So big shout out to Cam.
They'll link in the description.
Link in the description to his progress thread on Dakadaka, where he's actually working on another set of terrain for us, but this time a 40k set of terrain. So we're gonna quickly show you what this terrain looks like and some of the features. So first of all, we got a nice, and now if you go back, Kevin did an unboxing video where he mangled this terrain when he took it out of the box. He should have been more nice to it, but he didn't actually break anything, but nobody liked it that he was opening it aggressively. So the next unboxing video we'll do for a set of terrain, I'll do it. Anyways, we got tree stand, and of course all these trees, well, not of course, but all these trees are removable. A nice overgrown pond. Now this theme was a burned out city or a ruined city, and he built this specifically for this mat, which is provided to us by GameMat.eu.
Yeah, Ruined City of Sigmar.
Ruined City of Sigmar. So make sure you check him out. We got an old graveyard over here. Another tree stand. Now the big centerpiece is a burnt out or destroyed chapel. Now I wouldn't say it's burnt out, but it's definitely destroyed. And this thing's amazing, and it's also huge. So it comes out in 4 pieces, 4 sections. And let me just give you some of the detail in there. It's great.
All the roofs are removable.
All the roofs are removable for gameplay, so you can get things easily in and out there.
I don't think Alario will fit in there.
Yeah, Alario may not fit in there.
Yeah, this is more of a free people city.
Yeah, more of a free people city, not made for big beetles with angeled wings. This is the Rune Drop Bar, and just to show you some detail, we got a bar in there. Let's turn this around. We also even got a furnace in there, so we are pretty hyped about this terrain, and we are excited to have a battle report. The piece de la resistance is this amazing outhouse right here.
The Chaos Outhouse.
The Chaos Outhouse, accompanied by a toilet and books.
Alright, then we got the row houses.
Row houses, 1, 2, 3. Another tree stand with some broken down trees. Oh, I'm not pointing at
some random wall sections.
Some wall sections, because you always need those.
You got your blacksmith market. You got your little thing. And then this right here, which we'll show you after it actually turns. We'll show you that after. But let's go ahead and we'll come back with the mission and the armies.
Awesome. And here we have the Sylvaneth army, 2,000 points of trees. Alright, so leading the charge, we have Alario, who's actually not my general, but she's still in the army. And she has the Dwellers Below psychic power, because all Sylvaneth casters get to choose a psychic power. Dwellers Below is pick a unit within 10 inches, roll a dice for each model. If it was successfully cast in that unit, on a roll of a 6, they take a mortal wound. Alright, and then we have the Spirit of Druithu himself. He has the Oaken Armor, so 2+ armor save. And he also has regrowth, so he's going to be able to heal. Actually, I'm going to switch it around. He's going to have that one Dwells Below, and she's going to have regrowth.
Oh,
yeah, oh, she can. Alright, and then we have 3 units of 3 Tree Revenants. Those are just the guys, they go all crazy. And then we have a unit of 10 Dryads, followed by 3 units of 3 Kurnoth Hunters, each with one of each of the options. So a scythe, a bow, and a sword. That is 2,000 points on the dot of trees. 2,000 points of Nergal demons. Let's start off with the core required battle line, I should say. We got a 30-man strong of plague bearers, and those are the green boys. And then the rust boys, we got 2 10-man squads, plague bearers. And of course everybody has full command because it's free in Age of Sigmar. We've got some more flying bugs here. We got plague drones, 2 squads of 3, both with full command. And then that's those guys. We're playing with some Furies today, even though they're not very good. They're pretty fun, and I got some cool looking converted Nurgle Furies. And then for HQs, we have a great unclean one. Now, he is the Forge Old one, and I do have the Games Workshop one. Unfortunately, the Games Workshop one's built and not painted yet, so we're going to be using the Forge Old one. He's going to have the bell and the blade to stab himself with psychic powers. He is also going to have the Endless Gift, and that is the relic that, well, it's, I forget what it's called, but it's the one thing I get to take. And on a 4+ at the beginning of every battle shock phase, for every wound he suffered this turn, he gets a roll of dice. On a 4+, he gets that back. He also knows Pestilence Breath as his gift of contagion. And he finally knows for his psychic power, Glorious Affliction. Now here we go. This is a creature caster model, but it is my Rodigus because he looks like Rodigus. He has a stomach, he has the hand thing. The only thing he doesn't have is the Rodigus staff, but that looks close enough. And of course, this is a beautiful creature caster model painted by a good friend, Key Lime Prime on Twitch. Make sure you check him out. So that is Rodigus. Other than that, I forgot to mention I am running a Nurgle Soul Grinder. I am not using the Plague Hulk rules, but just the Nurgle Soul Grinder with the Plague Hulk model counts as. Of course, I have my 2 trees here. The Feculent Gnarl Maw. I should have more for a Nergal army, but I only have 2. I may look and get into some more in the future. But in total, that is my 2,000 points of Nergal Demons. And we are playing the mission Duality of Death. That's the mission where only heroes and or monsters can hold the 2 objectives, 18 inches in, 24 inches up. We got 1 right there and 1 over there. And you get points equal to, it's starting at the second turn or even the first turn? Alright, so starting at the mounted turn he holds it, or the turn number? Alright, so if you have a hero within 3 inches, they hold the objective. And how do you get taken off the objective?
Well, only one behemoth character can hold it at a time. And if there's a behemoth character on it, you have to kill it with one of your characters to be able to control that objective.
Awesome. So there you have it. So it'll be a bloodbath. Both of our characters are behemoth and characters. So there's none of the other special where you heal runes if you're not a behemoth. Anyways, that is the table, guys. Let's give you a quick overhead shot. Alright, and it is also important to note that we did release a giveaway video yesterday, or a couple days ago, last week, on Easter Friday. 5,000 subscriber giveaway. We're trying to pump to 5,000 subscribers. Be sure to watch that. A lot of amazing stuff to win, guys. Many prizes. Alright, let's go ahead and see what's up. And surprisingly, I'm not the only one with trees. So Irvin's got his own trees. We rolled off. He was able to place his tree first over here, and then I placed a unit of Citadel Woods over here. Irvin, let's roll off to see who deploys the first unit. 1, 2. What side would you like?
I will deploy on this side.
So he's going to take that side over there. I will take this side, and we'll come back after deployment. And here we are for deployment. We have the tree side. Dryads, Kurnoth Hunters with bows, Kurnoth Hunters with swords, Alario, the Spirit of Druthu, and the Kurnoth Hunters with scythes. And then in reserve we have my 3 units of Tree Revenants, which can come out of the board edge or a Wildwood. And coming over to Irvin's deployment, looks like there's a Soul Grinder of Nergal right here. Plague Jones, 10-man squad. Rodigus, the big boy himself, 10-man squad. Great unclean one, 30-man squad. Plague Jones, and the 5 Furies, because they're coming units of 5, not 10. Alright, Irvin, would you like to go first or second?
I will. I'd like to go first.
Alright, so we will come back after the Nurgle movement phase. Sorry, that was the Nurgle hero phase. Beginning of hero phase, Nurgle, turn 1, Rampant Disease went off on the Delusion Nurgle, and I managed to roll a 3 on my D3, and I did some mortal wounds. I did 1 to Alario, 1 to the tree, what are those called?
Kurnoth
Hunters with the sword, and 3 to the Kurnoth Hunters with the bow. And that was the Delusion Nergal tree for that. Then we went on to Psychic Powers. Rotigus has the almost exact, well, really close ability to that. He casts his Psychic Power and got it off on a 9, needed a 7, and I roll 7 dice. Every 4+, I get to do D3 mortal wounds to a separate unit of his. So I did 1 to Alario. Actually, I rolled 4 pluses. So I did 1 to Druthu, 1 to Alario, 3 to the Kurnoth Hunters with the swords, and 1 to the Kurnoth Hunters with the bow. So I did not manage to kill anybody with that, even though I had a good chance to do so. But that is fine. Other than that, Great Unclean One, who's my general, uses command trait on the Nurglings, +1 attack on those bad boys. As well, he did cast Mystic Shield. So that is all the hero phase shenanigans. We'll move on to the movement phase. And I did forget to mention that I did get my contagion points at the beginning of the turn. I got 3 for having Nurgle models in my deployment zone. I got 1 for having models in my deployment zone and none of my opponent's models. And because there are no enemy models within 3 inches of this fucking Barama, I get D3, and I rolled a 5. So that means I have 7, which means I will be able to summon a second Feculent Gnarlmaw on the end of my movement phase. End of movement phase for Nergal. So every single Nergal unit did move and advance to get in a better position. We had the Plague Drones right here, followed by the Plague Bearers, the Great Unclean One in there. The Furies came all the way right here. More Plague Bearers, Rotigus, more Plague Drones. I summoned my second tree with my 7 points right there. Other than that, we have the Plague Drones right here. And this coming into the church is the Plague Bearers. And then holding the objective is this Soul Grinder. So that'll be the end of the movement phase. Now we go into charging phase, and even though my stuff can charge right here, I'm not going to, because you can advance a charge if you're Nergal and within 7 inches of a Feculent Gnarlmaw. So there's no charging phase, and because there's no charging phase, there's no combat phase, and I didn't do enough to cause any battle shock. So that is the end of the turn, and at the end of the turn, I am currently holding 1 objective, which will give me 1 victory point. We'll go into the tree. Turn 1. And for the Sylvaneth hero phase, she casted a spell in Metamorphosis, killing 2 of these guys. He made some of his disgusting resilient saves.
Sure did.
I then cast the Magic Missile one, which killed another one. He did not make that save. She then cast Mystic Shield, so she got a 2+ save on herself. And then that was what she cast. Druthu casted a Regrowth, which healed all the wounds on this guy. Plus her ability heals D3 wounds within 30 inches of her for every Sylvaneth. So all the wounds you have left are actually 1 wound on this guy, Irvin. Other than that, that was the hero phase. We will go into the movement phase. Alright, and for movement phase, these guys moved and advanced up here. Druthu moved and advanced. These guys stayed put. The Kurnoth Hunters here with the swords moved and just moved actually. The Dryads moved and advanced. Alario popped on top of there, going to do some charging. She can't fly, so she's allowed to do that. And then over here we had 1 unit of True Revenants coming. And the second unit of True Revenants coming. Alright, let's go to the shooting phase. And the shooting phase. She shot a spear, causing
5 wounds.
5 wounds,
no,
killing.
Sorry, 3 wounds.
Well, yeah, she did 5 wounds, killing 3 after discussing resilient. And then these guys shot at Mr. Rotigus all the way over here. And I actually managed to get 2 through, causing 6 wounds. And Aaron didn't make any of his saves, so he took 6 wounds. And that was the total of the shooting phase, going into the charge and assault phase. Alright, then we had the combat charging in battle shock phase. Alario charged into those drones because she's on this giant terrain feature right there. She did manage to do a bunch of wounds, a bit of smattering wounds, 1 or 2 wounds to every unit. And then she was able to do 10 wounds in combat to the drones.
Every unit within 1 inch of the terrain feature.
Yeah. And then, so the drones, I killed 2 drones. Over here, these guys made their charge, and they were able to do 2 wounds to that squad. And then the other True Revenant squad charged those Plague Bearers. think they killed a couple, but even rolled a 1. Yep. These guys managed to fail their charge. They needed anything but a 2, and they got a 2. And that's that. So that is a turn.
And those dudes did.
Yeah, so after my shooting, they did die to the battle shock. Alright, everyone, we got to roll off to see who goes first. Love the Age of Sigmar. I got a 3.
3.
Oh. That's a 6.
Can't hammer. No.
Alright, so Age of Sigmar turn? Nope. Sylvaneth turn.
2.
And then we have the hero phase for the Sylvaneth turn 2. She healed the wound on herself, and these guys healed the last wound on them as well with her ability. Other than that, there's no wounds to heal. She cast Metamorphosis, causing 4 wounds on the drone. She then attempted to cast Dwell as below on that squad down there, but it failed. He was able to cast Arcane Bolt on the last drone and killed it. And then she used the command ability, which is once per game, and to my next hero phase, all Sylvaneth get to reroll all wounds. Alright, going into the movement phase. And for movement, these guys moved around to try and charge the Sylvaneth. She hopped up top of here. Because of fly, she's allowed to. She's looking down at all those peasants.
Yeah.
Alright, Druthu moved, snaking his way through here, trying to get a charge. These Kurnoth Hunters moved up in charge range, and then these Dryads also moved up. We'll go into the shooting phase. And in the shooting phase, everything I had, Druthu, Alario, the Kurnoth Hunters back here. Shot him, put him down to how many wounds, Erin?
5.
5 wounds left. Alright, let's go to the charge of combat and then the battle shock phase. And in the charging phase, she managed to charge in along with these guys, which helped her to, which killed the Soul Grinder. Over here, my guys died, I think, killing 2 of his. Druthu managed to get within 3 inches of the Rodigus, so he could use his giant sword on it, which got 3 wounds through, so that's 18 damage because he was unhurt. Other than that, the drones and your plague bearers killed my squad of Dryads. These Kurnoth Hunters managed to kill this squad of the orange plague bearers that was right there because you failed your morale. And that's that. And then these guys, the 10-man squad right there, ran away from the battle shock phase. Other than that, that was my charging phase and my assault phase and the battle shock phase going into turn 2 for the Nergal. So we just finished the hero phase and the movement phase. So hero phase, he didn't do much. He failed both of his powers. Well, I got dispelled once and I failed to cast it the second, and that's the Great Unclean One right here. He casted the command ability on these drones right here. Other than that, that's all about the hero phase. I did get to the healed D3 wounds on my hero phase, but unfortunately, nothing. All my stuff was dead, and nothing was else as wounded, so I didn't get to do that. So that was the hero phase. Movement phase. These guys booked tail out here, right here, over here. These guys advanced away and retreated, and the Great Unclean One moved, and those drones advanced and moved over there. So go ahead and go into the shooting phase. And for the shooting phase, the Great Unclean One shot at the...
It's more like spit.
Yeah, spit at the Kurnoth Hunters and managed to kill 1 and bring 1 down a wound. So that is that. The shooting phase, these guys advance so they can't charge. Ooh, I'm cheating right now. These guys are way too close to be within 3 inches. There you go. Fix that. So that is the shooting phase. On to charging. And for the close combat phase, sorry, charge phase and combat phase, so the drones charged into the tree, what are they called, sorry?
Kurnoth Hunters.
Kurnoth Hunters, as well as the Great Unclean One. Great Unclean One didn't do anything as his impact attacks and did 1 wound with his attacks. The MVP were these guys, though, because they got the command ability from the Great Unclean One, and the Plague Drones were able to do a bunch of wounds to him, but only in the last attack. So he has 1 Kurnoth Hunter left with 3 wounds. Other than that, that was about it. He attacked back and managed to do 3 wounds to my Great Unclean One. Now my Great Unclean One does have the Undying Gift, so on 4+ I get wounds back, and I get 2 wounds back, so I go back to 15.
What is the Undying Gift?
Anytime I suffer a wound in that turn, at the start of the Battle Shock phase, I get to roll dice. On every 4+, I get a wound back. Lost that turn though.
Let's roll to see who goes first. Then.
Roll to see who goes first. Big turn. If not, it's not going to be very good for Nergal. I got a 2.
That's
Kevin.
definitely a cock dice.
I got a 5. Kevin got a 1. We'll go to turn for Nergal. We'll be back at the hero phase. And for the hero phase and movement phase, we go to the dial, move it up 1, which means everything moves an extra 2 inches at Nergal. He casted the command ability on these guys right here. He casted the +1 armor save, Mystic Shield, and those guys as well. And yeah, these guys moved in advance to bubble wrap their Great Unclean One. Great Unclean One moved back. There was one Colonel Hunter which I managed to kill with his spell that did actually a line where you choose a model and draw a 14-inch line in between him. Well, 14 inches, draw a line in between him. I did 3 wounds to Druthu and 3 wounds to remaining Colonel Hunter, which is really good for me. So these guys moved up, these guys moved, as well as these guys. Let's go ahead and go into the shooting phase. And for the shooting phase, Great Unclean One did a 7-inch shot and managed to do 2 wounds to Druthu. Druthu's down to 8. We're hoping some good saves can do it. Some good attacks can take out Druthu right there. Other than that, the drones did shoot and missed him. So we'll go on to the charge phase. Also, I forgot to mention that in the hero phase, the Great Unclean One stabbed himself twice with the Bile Blade and managed to cast both his spells. And then he healed him, so he's back to 15 wounds. Possibly can get that wound back at the end of my turn. So let's go to charging phase. And combat phase, Druthu managed to do 4 wounds to me. I managed to take him down just to 1 wound. So that'll be that for my turn. At the end of my turn, I'll score a 2nd point to put me at 2 points. And we'll go to Kevin's round 3. So now we have the hero and the movement phase. The hero phase, Druthu tried to heal himself, didn't go off. Alario did manage to heal him 3 wounds. And then in movement phase, he moved up. These guys moved around to try and run. And that is that. She's still holding this objective. She did not go that far. Perfect. Alright, let's go to the shooting phase. Alright, so then we went ahead and actually did the whole rest of the turn just because it was really quick. So I already showed you movement. Alario shot. Everything shot, including Alario. These Kurnoth Hunters, as well as Druthu, and they managed to actually kill the drones. Ever didn't make many saves, unfortunately. And then in combat, he killed 4 Plague Bearers. And that was the whole turn. These guys, I already told you, are advancing up. Alright, let's go ahead and roll to turn 4. I got 1. 2. Alright, you get to go first going into turn 4.
I can choose to go first. I'll go first.
Alright. After the command and the movement phase, we casted a command ability on these guys, giving them an extra attack. Both my spells, one was dispelled and one was missed to do damage to.
You poked yourself twice for that.
Yeah, and I did poke myself twice, and I managed to heal 1 wound back, so I'm back to full. Well, I'm back to 15 wounds. These guys move in advanced up just to try to get a combat. I'm also cheating here. I'm not 3 inches away. I'm used to 40k, sorry, but there were 3 inches out. That was the intention. And that is it. So we're going to charging phase now. And after charging and shooting, I did 1 wound to Druthu only. Combat, everybody, this squad charged him. I managed to bring him down to 1 wound. Again, and he did 1 wound to these gents, and I did not make my battle shock up a 1, so that died. Other than that, I'm going to score 2 points at the end of my turn, putting up to 3 to Kevin's 3. But that's going to change at the end of this turn.
Turn 4?
Actually, no, that'll put me to 4 to Kevin's 3, but...
Yeah, but then I'm going to get another
3 points.
I'll be at 6.
6. So that is the end of that. We'll go to turn 4 for the Wood Elves. So for the hero phase, Alario, well, first of all, he failed his check.
Yep.
So he failed his regrowth. So but Alario did heal him another 3 wounds, so he's back up to 4. That's good.
Yeah.
Hopefully I survive. Other than that, we went to the movement phase. These guys moved forward, and Alario stayed where she was. And in the shooting phase already.
You don't want to move Alario?
I'm sure I don't want to move Alario. And in the shooting phase, Alario, drew through, and the Kurnoth Hunters shot at these 2 little orange plague bears right there, and I did no wounds. You didn't even have to make a save. I literally did no wounds.
No wounds.
Alright, so we're going to go to the charge and the combat. And then we had the combat phase. Kurnoth Hunters made an 11-inch charge, actually allowing me to get into the green squad, which is what I was hoping. They attacked first, killing 6. The green squad then attacked back, well, the green squad and the orange squad attacked back. He managed to get 1 wound on Juthu this time, so he's down to 3. And then the Kurnoth Hunters did another 2 wounds with the mortal wound at the end of the phase on a 4+. Ervin then failed his battle shock, losing another 2, so that took out 10 that turn from that squad, right?
Yeah.
Putting it under 20. And that is that. We have to roll for turn 5, Ervin. So it is a victory for me at this point, but we're going to play it out anyways. A 2 to a very cocked dice.
That's a 6.
Yeah.
4.
Alright, you get to go turn 5 in the last turn for the Nergal. Hero phase, movement phase, and shooting phase. You're gonna notice something missing. There's a big hole there.
No!
His 1 bolt did manage to do 3 wounds to Juthu and killed him.
Regrowth would have went off one of the times. One of the times I would have been survived.
You would have been survived.
I would have been survived.
Okay, so that's good. Other than that, we managed to kill 1 of the Kurnoth Hunters with the shooting and his other psychic power. With the mortal wounds, we went into, so we got 2 full guys left. These guys have the command ability. We're going to go into assault phase and see how it goes from there. Also, the dice, the Nurgle tally, forget what it's called, my apologies. If you can see, anything within 1 inch of a terrain feature takes a mortal wound. These guys didn't take a mortal wound. He, takes a mortal wound. She takes a mortal wound.
All my guys?
Anything within 1 inch of a terrain feature.
Okay.
A single mortal wound, which
she'll just automatically heal it.
I know. So we'll go into that turn 5, and we're going to assault. See if I can kill these 2, which I won't, but we'll try.
Do it.
At the end of combat phase, Great and Clean One got tired of holding that objective. Unlike this lady who just sat there the whole game afraid.
That's exactly what she did.
She sat there afraid. She didn't kill.
Alright.
400 and some points in my army. Anyway, she was afraid. Over here, Great and Clean One charged in. These guys piled in. So what happened was I managed to do 1 total wound to him, and he killed 5 of my guys. But I managed to roll a 1 on my battle shock test and got 4 back. So we each did 1 wound to each other there.
Last turn of the game.
Last turn of the game.
Turn 5.
Turn 5 for Sylvaneth. So I'm not even sure. No, this. I guess this is just 1 filming, right, for the whole turn.
I think so.
Alright, well, anyways, guys, turn 5, the last turn of the game for Sylvaneth. Alario was like, well, if he's not going to stay on the objective, she's definitely not staying on the objective. She came up, charged in, didn't make enough to charge the Great Unclean One, which was very unfortunate because I wanted to. But, I mean, I did charge the green guys and I did 20 wounds to them.
20 wounds.
With, well, she's full up, dude. And 5 damage each for the beetle. He lost 12. Leaving him 1 guy left, and then my Kurnoth Hunter swung, killed the 1 green guy and the 1 orange guy, leaving Irvin with a full Great and Clean One on the table. That's the game. Great game, Irvin.
Good game.
We'll come back with a post-game show. Hey guys, that was the end of the game. An Age of Sigmar battle report. Finally back in the battle reports. I feel good to be back, Irvin.
Sure do.
Alright, so the final score from that was 6 points for the Sylvaneth to 4 points for the Demons.
Exactly.
Alario's going to win, but I mean, when you have Alario on the board, she wins. Sure, 100% of the time. That's a statistic. That's sadistic. Anyways, guys, thank you for that. Once again, thank you to Cam
for the terrain set. Be sure to check out Cam and the link in the description below for the thread where he's working on new stuff. GameMat.eu for the mat. We got 4 Realms of Chaos for painting my beautiful
Sylvaneth?
Sylvaneth, yeah.
Prime painted my...
Yeah, but you painted most of your Nurgle yourself. Which is surprising. He painted stuff himself.
I did paint some myself.
That's
but we're not going to talk about tactics about the game?
Well, yeah, so I think, I don't know.
If I didn't fail, I had to roll 10 saves on my soul grinder.
Yeah,
who had 9 wounds left, and that's 10 disgusting resilient.
Yeah.
So I should have passed 3 or 4.
If he was there another turn, I think it would have been.
If I didn't fail that save, I would have got that objective that turn because he can't contest it without me.
That's not really tactics, though.
But I'm just saying I could have won.
I mean, yeah, it wasn't a runaway game.
It wasn't.
And to be honest, when I thought Irvin had the game, but then I realized that he had just got on the objective, so Alario was one turn ahead of him.
Exactly.
So it's always going to be 1 point ahead of you. But in the end, it was a fun game. You almost killed half my army.
Almost killed half. You killed more than half my army.
I mean,
but my warlord was alive. Full wounds.
Yeah, well, I mean, I left him alone because he has that crazy, I'm going to get half the wounds you did.
He probably did over the time lose about 12 wounds, but I got him back.
Exactly. So that's why I just left him alone. I wasn't going to focus on him. But that was a good game.
It was. I do want to say one more thing. If you play Warhammer 40k, which most of you probably do, but if not, Age of Sigmar is a great game to watch. As well, if you don't play any games, let us know and we can definitely point you into the direction of some games you may like. We're running the Basement Collective GT. Now, I say GT, but it could possibly be a major.
Yeah, this is an ITC.
An ITC ranked event for 40k. And we may do an ITC ranked Age of Sigmar event in the future.
In the future, maybe, but we have what? We have 60 spots.
We have 60 spots.
And so far, we filled up 40.
40
39. 40 or 39 spots.
Exactly. So they're open. So make sure you go to our Facebook page, the Basement Collective on Facebook. Link in the description.
It's an event hosted. And the event is a 2-day event, June 2nd and 3rd, which is the first weekend of June.
In Sudbury, Ontario.
It's $60 Canadian cost in Sudbury, but that includes the event as well as unlimited pop and water. And it also includes lunch for both days as well.
So it's a pretty good deal. And a sweet swag bag.
All the channel sponsors in there. So be sure to check it out. Check our Facebook below. But once again, guys, thank you for watching this battle report. Be sure to enter the giveaway that was posted not too long ago.
And check out the Facebook for the Facebook giveaway for more Alario exclusives.
All this crazy stuff. Keep on wargaming, guys.
One thing I do want to say before this is we apologize for... we're trying to work on some things, and this is our first battle report back in a long time.
We gotta get better at filming.
We gotta get better at filming.
I feel like we have a better microphone, and we got a new mount, so it'd be less shaky, but we still gotta get better at filming. So if you have any suggestions, let us know.
Exactly. If you let us know. I know we move the camera a bit too fast sometimes, and with our new mount, we have to practice because instead of holding in a hand, it's a different direction. So we have to make sure we're always on shot, and we move a bit too quick, so it hurts the eyes. But we're trying to learn. I know we've been at this for 2 years. Well, we were at it for 6 months and then off for a year and a half.
Yeah. All right. Anyways, guys, have a good one.
Keep on wargaming.